Welcome back, my beautiful humans. I'm so glad you joined me today for another episode of If I Die Tomorrow. We cover a lot of topics. We ask a lot of questions. And I have gotten some feedback from you guys and conversations, and I really want to say thank you for that. It means a lot to me. I'm actually going to do something different this episode. We are diving into a very large topic that deserves more than 15 minutes that I normally try to stay within. I don't want to do a disservice to this topic or subject. And I think it will be interesting to a lot of us. And so, without further ado, our topic is about angels. We're going to have 3 segments. The first one, we're going to discuss the roots of angels, how they fit in, how the origin of them came to be for us to learn about them. And then segment 2, which will be the following week, we're going to discuss how to connect with angels and how that connection can be fostered and grown, how we can get the name of our angel. I believe that in this life, as we're trying to live a better life every day because we don't know how long we really have, there's nothing wrong with believing in something outside of what we see. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy this episode, or segment 3 for the angels. We'll be tying all of it together and how it can actually help shape the life that we have and interact with the people in our lives, how it can help bring out more kindness in ourselves, and how it leads into other spiritual conversations. I'm hoping that this intrigues you, that this makes you question things, that this gives some interaction. And, a call of action would be to do some research and exploring for yourself. And if you have questions that come up during this conversation, that you are not afraid to leave a comment and we can discuss it. As you know, when we hear the word angel, many of us immediately picture a beautiful winged being with a halo. And the wings are huge and pure white, and they just almost reflect light because they are so pure. And while that imagery is powerful, the concept of an angel is far richer and more expansive than a simple physical description. Now, when we ask, what is an angel? We can move beyond common depictions to explore their essence. They are often understood as many things: divine messengers, protectors and guides, divine intermediaries. And let's break that down. For the divine messengers, the literal meaning of the word angel from the Greek angelos is messenger. They bridge the gap between the divine and the human, delivering guidance, warnings, or blessings. If you look at it from a protectors and guides stance, they are beings or forces that watch over us. offering comfort and safeguarding us through life's challenges. I often envision my guardian angel with their faces in their hands, or them shaking their heads. I know I'm not easy. My life has proved it. It's okay. At least they still love me and they're still here. They probably ask, if they got paid, they'd probably ask for a really big raise. Then if we look at them as divine intermediaries, wow. They facilitate communication and interaction between the human realm and higher spiritual dimensions, which is very true. And we will break it down even further to a certain extent, but I don't want us to get bogged down in just definitions, because to me, angels do so much and we recognize them, but we have to walk that very fine line because we want to appreciate them and how they step in for us, but we don't want to worship them. They are so special and humbling. I don't know in the Bible. I couldn't tell you what book, what chapter. I just know that there are certain things that stand out to me. And I don't believe it makes me any less of a believer because I don't know books and chapters and verses off the top of my head. I feel a lot more. And I remember one of the stories about one of the men who his name ended up getting changed, fighting all night with an angel based on what he believed. And I know sometimes angels, as the divine messengers and intermediaries and protectors and guides, sometimes, according to the Bible, they really got some poopy jobs. They really did. And so I have tremendous respect for them and care. So I'm going to now take this to beyond their form. Because as I said, they are more than what we imagine, what we picture, what's put out social media or depictions on TV shows and that kind of thing. So they're also energetic beings. For many, angels are just pure energy, light or consciousness. Without a physical body, they are felt rather than seen. There's also a way that they're just a representative of love, compassion, wisdom, and protection that exists within the collective human consciousness. While I can respect that, I don't want to push it all off onto that. Some spiritual traditions also see angels not as separate entities, but as different facets or emanations of the divine itself, extensions of God's love and will. Crucially, for our show's theme, angels can also be understood as the voice of our higher self, our intuition, or the guiding wisdom that comes from within. When we are aligned with the universal love and truth, they are the gentle nudges towards living a kinder, more authentic life. I have to say, I think it's a lot of all. I think we would do a disservice or an injustice to try and fit them into a specific box. You don't like to be just shoved into a specific box. You're more complex. You have more layers, and you offer more than just what people see. And I believe that is the same for angels as well. I think it also is a door or a gateway for believing that there is something more out there. And it's less scary or concrete to start with angels as just these kind, gentle, loving beings or forms of energy. The expansive understanding isn't new. It has roots in how different cultures have perceived these divine presences throughout history. Yeah, you knew I was going to throw history in there somewhere, right? I can't just not. I want you to think. I want you to ask questions. And one of the questions is, as we're discussing the roots of angels, in everything, at some point there had to be some sort of truth. And I think there's a lot of truth in angels. I think, unfortunately, with life and as we have progressed as humans, we have unfortunately played the telephone game. And as kids, so and so said something to you, you said something to somebody else said something to somebody else. And by the time you get to the end, it is nowhere near the same thing except for one small part. And I think that's how some of our beliefs and our religion and our understanding of angels and something greater than us has been able to get lost in translation somehow. And so I want you to ask yourself the question on if any of this resonates with you, and if it does, how you might be able to explore it yourself to have a better understanding. I will say, like in Judaism, the concept are that they're strictly messengers of God. They're unseen, mostly, and they just carry out the divine will. There is mention of them in the Torah. And then when we jump into Christianity, the hierarchy, that there's a hierarchy of angels. You have your seraphim, your cherubim, your archangels, like Michael and Gabriel. Those are some of the most known. Their roles in biblical narratives are as protectors, guides, and heralds of significant events. And that takes a lot of love. And it takes a lot of actually they don't even have to understand that. It's I believe that it is they have so much love for God that no questions. I mean, there are a few friends that in my life and a few people in my life that it's a no questions. They come to me and they say, hey, I need, okay, You don't have to tell me anymore. Or there's something that has to happen and I can't tell you what, and I can't tell you when, I just need you. Okay. And I think that's a lot of them as well. Granted, my opinion. In Islam, they are created from light. They are pure beings with very specific duties, such as, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Jibril, Jibril, and they're delivering revelations, or they're bringing sustenance. And the origins on where you learn about them actually really does set a foundational belief system in how you view them and what they're there for, their purpose, their intention. And it, by interpreting their origin based on how you were taught, will have a shape in how you understand, how you feel that you may get comfort or you may fear the interactions that you have with the angelic realm. And throughout history, and even today, there is so much diversity in the beliefs and the foundational shaping of the beliefs based on your background in life, that it really is influenced. And it's hard because I think I just understand that the way you learned about them is one of the ways in which you see them. And I hope that maybe by learning that there were other origins out there, that it might make you see them in a different light, in a more deserving way, with more appreciation, because we really should appreciate all that they do. We don't have to see everything. You don't see everything that your friends do for you, that your spouse or partner does for you, that your children do for you, that your parents did for you. You didn't see everything. There was so much that happened in the background. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen because you didn't see it. And I would like you to hold on to that just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. And the other thing that I would like to throw this out is, as in we're asking these questions, and I talked to you about the telephone game for a moment, is how is it that all of these different traditions or sect, SECT, or diversity in belief systems, are there always mention of angels? So I would ask you to pause and take that under consideration, and do a little bit of meditating on that. Ask for some discernment. And then I'm going to round this off here real quick. Understanding where our concept of angels comes from helps us appreciate their deep roots in human consciousness, whether they are as external beings, inner guidance, or pure light in your understanding or your belief of them. So, in our next part, we'll move from their origins to something more personal, connecting with angels. We'll explore how to make that connection and, crucially, how to nurture that precious bond. I hope you join me for the next segment on If I Die Tomorrow and angels, how that connection can help us live a kinder and more present life. Until then, be kind, be grateful, stay humble.